plan for the uncertainty, live like this uncertainty coming.
So I am 3 miles drive down into nowhere, Iceland. And well, let's add another little hike on top of that. Down here looking at another beautiful waterfall. I can tell you that this entire country is like driving through a Bob Ross painting. It's pretty amazing. You can't really describe it. No pictures or videos will even describe it. But it got me thinking because everywhere you go here, you're kind of remote. So you really have to actually think about everything that you're going to do. I found myself driving because there is actually so few gas stations around. I found myself kind of like every time we would approach a gas station and we stop for anything wanting to fill up, even if I was on only a 3/4 tank or something. And when we left, you had to consider, what's the weather going to be like? What's really going to wear? And even just driving, super, super conscious of driving, not trying to run off the road. It sounds crazy, but not trying to run off the road, try not to hit anything because if you break a tire or you have a flat or get stuck out here mechanically, honestly, it's not even about trying to get a tow truck. You may not even see anybody for 20 or 30 minutes. And as you can tell, it's freezing out here. I don't know if anybody's really going to get you. I mean, I think you have to kind of plan on just like you're going to be sitting here camping if anything were to happen. So, but it got me thinking about the luxury that we have in the United States or any sort of Western country, and how some of the luxuries that we have in our life can actually make us not prepare. And that lack of preparation is what can actually greatly affect your ability to succeed and get ahead. Oftentimes the difference between the top 1% or the person that gets that promotion or that gets ahead of you, while a lot of people don't understand, they just think it's something else. It is actually that attention to detail and that ability of that person to actually think through everything. If you're operating at a frame where you don't know where the next gas station is going to be, you don't know where the next meal is going to come from, or you're thinking about all the contingencies that could possibly happen, you're going to prepare a lot differently. Well, think about going through your life like that on a regular basis, even in a Western country where basically everything you have is at your disposal. If you're thinking about every single detail, like, what if something isn't available? Am I prepared for that? What if I can't? Am I prepared for that? Now let's transition to that, and let me put it in real life for you. In financing, a lot of us go and we work at our 9 to 5 jobs thinking, well, if I lose this job, I'll just go pop in another one. I know that people at my restaurant necessarily think that. Even some high level jobs, doctors, physicians, engineers, a lot of us are working right now, even with AI coming out, which is going to disrupt the economy. A lot of us are out there and we're operating like it's like nothing's ever going to happen. Like there's never going to be any disruption, or if there is a disruption, that next gas station is just going to be a few feet away, or that next thing we need is just going to be at our fingertips. That is oftentimes what hurts people and gets people stuck or makes them make very bad decisions. They're living paycheck to paycheck. So when they get that little extra income, they're not saving it. They're not putting in investment. They're not creating that rainy day fund. For your finances, you have to have not a month, not 2 months, not 6 months, but a year of savings, I say, in the bank. And that might sound impossible to some of you because you're like, I don't even have the money to pay because I'm living paycheck to paycheck. But what I'll say to you is that's probably not the case. It is actually probably the case that you're spending money on new pair of shoes, new clothes, new TV, new whatever. And you might be thinking, well, I need to have those types of things. And you're probably incorrect about that. If you live in the bare minimum, which a lot of people do in other countries where they eat simple, drive really fancy cars, they made a couple outfits, and they really try to conserve money and save because they don't know where the next money's coming from, they live a lot differently. We could do that here in America. You can live pretty frugal in America and get by. Yes, you might not live in the nicest apartment. People are going to laugh at you, but you're going to live there. If you go and you live in the United States with a mindset of you don't know where the next thing's coming and you are strictly saving and investing, building up that year of nest egg, you're taking a big portion, 20% is really the bare minimum to put towards your retirement. I would say 50% of your check you should be putting towards the investment to your retirement. If you're doing those types of things, you're going to set yourself up to where you're going to have an abundance where no matter what comes at you, a downturn in the economy, a loss of a job, you're going to be well prepared for that. So just think about it. It's a little bit different perspective that's out here. Something I was starting to think of when I was just looking at these beautiful waterfalls that are out here.
and how just the amount of preparation and sort of how you act differently because you don't know what the next is coming. When you live headed towards uncertainty, you act differently than if you live in a land where you're of abundance, where you never have to worry about it. You want to be successful. You want to live like in the top 1%. Plan for the uncertainty. Live like this uncertainty coming. And if you do that, when uncertainty doesn't come, you'll have an abundance in your account and you'll live in abundance. Now,